Hi, welcome to Market Alert for Thursday, the 7th of May 2020. So yesterday, the Nasdaq continues its record to record highs, despite the biggest job loss ever. And that's something that we're going to have a look at in more detail in just a moment. But first, let's have a look at the markets yesterday. This is yesterday's daily bar, and you can see the market ending up closing back below the 20 bar moving average, but back up on the overnight there. So let's have a look at the details of this, and we'll start off in the pre-market session. We've got the ADP non-farm figures released here. The market finds support and they bring the market back from the highs that we see here down to the low, and we get a 62% retracement of prices as the market opens. It trades straight up to this and the 50 bar moving average, and then just sells off 100, 200, 250 points before testing, which you can see there in the blue bar, and then the market being brought back, and again from the high to this low, you'll see the market stopping between 62.78 and also the 50 bar moving average once more. And then once we break the DP and the previous day's close, the 200 MA as well, you can see prices closing below the 200. Prices then make their way lower from this low to this high, stopping at 89%. Which you'll see here, and the 78 before they move higher. And again, this is how the market oscillates in these swings. And again, from this high to this one, you'll see 62. This one we've got a double top all the way across, and then the market's in a quiet mode there. From this high measured to here back is again going to be 62 or whatever. I could mark them all up, but you can see the pattern. Then eventually it breaks as prices come back from here to the 50 bar moving average again, and then down we go. And that's where prices finish the day. Given the colossal number of job losses, the market eventually broke and moved to the downside. However, overnight prices have moved higher and currently sitting at the DP level. They need to close above the 20 bar and the 200 to show any strength to the upside. So, yeah, I mean, there's a few headlines here that we want to have a look at. It says stocks have never been more expensive. Disconnect between markets and reality hits idiotic levels. Again, you've heard this before in the Market Alert, and that's where we have this total disconnect and idiotic levels. Also, on the news front as well, China, Beijing may dump. Well, they've been dumping treasuries for the last few years. They used to hold $1 trillion worth of US bonds. But it's this bit here, it says that one wonders how much longer will this bellicose verbal foreplay continue, and when will the US and China finally go at it? And that's the biggest concern, as Gerald Celente said. You know, when everything else fails, they take you to war. So keep an eye on this. Keep an eye on this in the background. And also coming to the ADP numbers in a moment. This is something else that's going to follow. A biblical wave of bankruptcies is about to flood the US. It's about to get very ugly, and I couldn't agree more. So the ADP numbers came out yesterday, and I'm not going to read through all of this, but as it says there, unprecedented companies slashed over 20 million jobs in April, and over 30 million have filed. We know this, and we've got those figures out again today. But it's when you see it charted, I mean, this is just absolutely staggering. This is the crisis of 2009. This is the global depression unfolding before your very eyes here, where you've got minus 20 million in one fell swoop. That's a dramatic chart, to say the least. And as we scroll down, here's the breakdown, which is quite interesting to read. I'm not going to go through all of it in detail again. You know, feel free just to pause the video and have a look at the breakdown of the sector by sector, and there's a few more there as well. It's very interesting to read. But what's even more fascinating, let's have a look. I'm just looking for, this bit here. As we noted previously, far more Americans have lost jobs in the last month than jobs gained during the last decade, since the end of the Great Recession. 22.13 million gained in a decade, 30.3 million lost in 6 weeks. Just let that sink in how dire this is, and there you can see. One took 10 years to create 20 million jobs, 6 weeks to see them vanish into thin air. So there's a lot more of this sort of news to come going forward, and we start off today with Thursday. Let's have a look. We've the main one. Actually, let's start at the top. We've got Barmy Carney out today. He's out at 7 a.m. So just as I'm about to conclude the market alert, he's going to speak, and then he's it looks like he's speaking twice, unless they're just releasing the data. No, they're just releasing the data at 7 a.m. and then he makes his grand appearance at 10 a.m. The most important news item for me for the day is this one, the ADP claims again. Just have a look at the graph and remind ourselves if it will show up. There we go. Let me just move this up a bit, and let's just drag this across a bit just to widen out the bars. So you can see 3 million more expected today. It'll be interesting to see if it's actually higher. This will return back to the upside, I would imagine, as the lockdown is released. The furlough payments are no longer fundable and or justifiable, and as companies close, as we saw in the bankruptcies earlier, then the unemployment figures will get another spike in them. So that's what we've got as far as the main news item, and then we've got Lagarde. The criminal's out later, then at 3 p.m. as well, and given the problem she's got with the German courts saying that printing 1 trillion euros is unconstitutional, it's going to be interesting to see what she has to say. Will I be watching it? I very much doubt it, because I just want to hurl abuse at the screen and throw things, which becomes expensive after a while when you have to keep replacing things. But the criminal's out at 3 p.m. Tomorrow the UK markets are closed and the French markets as well. However, Lagarde is speaking again tomorrow as for some unknown reason, 2 days on the trot, trying to justify going back to the courts on appeal and getting the QE through. And then we've got the non-farm payroll change. But the UK markets are closed in observation of the VE Day celebrations. Normally it would have been Monday with the bank holiday, but it's been put back to Friday for the 75th year ending of the Second World War. Okay, that will do it for this one. If there is anything else to report, I will let you know. But as ever, thanks for watching. See you in the next one.